So I posted a video about a week ago or so now about the state of the channel and how things need to change. And so many of you responded with an avalanche of feedback and positivity. It was really cool to see. Not just here, but on Discord and Patreon as well. It was honestly a bit overwhelming. It felt like for days all I was doing was reading your comments and your messages and chatting with you on Discord. But I took in all of that information and I've been considering it now for quite a while, trying to figure out where I'm going to take the channel. So to get right to the point, I've decided that I'm going to go back to streaming exclusively. So many of you seem to like the streams. I think there's a lot I can do with them to make them more engaging. It's way less workload for me. And even though my streams never got a ton of views, they did consistently get good views. And that's something that the YouTube algorithm really likes, that consistent view count, as opposed to like my walkthroughs where like there's really high highs and really low lows. It doesn't like that. The low lows, it starts to like downgrade me essentially. So having consistent views is a really good thing to achieve. Now, I did want to keep my walkthroughs around in some capacity, but I've been looking at the analytics for them over, the past week or so under like a microscope, and they're really, really bad. Like even worse than I realized. Not in terms of like retention. Like once people see them, they appear to like them just as much as they always have, and we get the same drop off. But that initial view count has just been abysmally low. It basically, the situation has been that all of my old content, my old walkthroughs have been floating the channel, and all of the new content is not really doing anything. So it's really clear that I just can't continue doing walkthroughs. A lot of you suggested some great like walkthrough adjacent stuff that I could potentially do, but I don't see any of that working because it's just bad. It's really bad. So it's hard for me to accept. I did build my channel off of walkthroughs. I kind of like always considered myself the walkthrough guy, but it's just done. There's really no way to put it. If I try to do it, I'll kill the channel. So I would rather not do that. It's time to just accept that that is the past, and now I've got to look to the future, really. So my plan is to start streaming again on June 1st. And we're going to be playing Elden Ring. Now I'm going to be deleting the current walkthrough series, and we're going to restart that game as a stream series. I don't actually know what time that stream will be because I'm actually going to be leaving that up to all of you. So between now and then, I'm going to start a series of YouTube polls, and I'm just going to be asking questions like, what time should I stream? How long should those streams be? Do you want me on webcam or not? How much reading do you want me to do? Things like that. Anything I feel like I need to get your opinion on, I'm going to put it on a poll and see what you all say. Now, I'm not going to guarantee I follow the results of all of those polls just because I might get new data that is like, oh, actually, maybe that's a bad idea. But my plan is to follow them. So whatever wins is almost certainly going to be what I end up doing. I just wanted to throw that disclaimer in there just in case, something happens. I find some new information and I need to do something else. But yeah, that is the plan. I do plan to follow the results. Now, some of you are probably saying, now wait a minute, you stopped streaming because you didn't enjoy it anymore. And yeah, that's totally true. And that's something that I need to figure out. I need to figure out how to make the streams more enjoyable for me. And I've got some ideas to start, and hopefully that'll be enough. But if not, I'll keep tweaking it until it gets back to a point where it's a lot of fun for me. So one thing that's going to change is I'm not going to guarantee I finish every game I start anymore. I hope I will, but if I'm really hating a game or if it's like performing really, really badly and it's starting to hurt the channel, then I'm gonna have to put that game on hold or potentially even cancel it. I really don't want to do that because I still want my perfect trophy list. Like that's something I've always wanted on the channel, is that perfect trophy list. I've never actually attained it. I still want 100% on every game. One day it'll happen. But yeah, I just don't want to sacrifice that. So hopefully it never happens, but if it does, I will bite the bullet and stop doing that game. Now I'm also going to be loosening what my personal definition of 100% is. So, like, a good example of this would be like Valkyrie Elysium. I actually ended up setting a world record on that game to get the top rank in one of the game modes, because getting the top rank on a game mode or anything is just always something that I've done. And in order to do it on that game, you had to set a world record because no one else had ever done it. So those sorts of things, you know, if I'm enjoying myself and people are enjoying watching, then yeah, I'll totally go for the top rank. And that's something that I generally enjoy doing. But if I'm not enjoying it or the people watching aren't enjoying it, we're just going to move on. And I will struggle with that, but I will get over it. So that's the plan. Also, another thing is a lot of you suggested that, like, you know, maybe you don't need to look in every nook and cranny and get every single item. And, you know, I'm a kleptomaniac, so I naturally try to do that, but I am going to try to focus on, you know, moving things forward a little bit more than I have. And, you know, if there's cool things about, maybe you guys can tell me about it and I'll go and try to find it, but I'm going to make more of an effort to not be so meticulous, so to speak. And it depends on the game. Like, some games it just makes sense to do that, but other games it's, you know, it might be a giant open world and it's like those items don't really matter. You can just kind of focus on moving the story forward or the side quest or whatever the heck you're doing. So that's something I'm going to be trying to do. So there is the issue of walkthroughs that are in progress, and right now I kind of consider all of them to be sort of toxic. None of them are performing well. I just don't want to touch them or think about them for a while. My focus right now is to get the channel in a better place, get the algorithm to be happier with what I'm doing and promote me more, and then once we're in a better place, I can think about going back to those and finishing them up. But yeah, I don't have a solid plan at the moment, but the plan is if a walkthrough is close to being finished, I'll just finish it on stream. And if it's not close, if it's like 50% or less, or, you know, some arbitrary number that I pick, then I'll just restart that game as a stream series. So don't expect those walkthroughs to be finished anytime soon. You know, potentially even ever, but I do plan to finish them. But yeah, just don't expect them anytime soon. Those are like toxic assets to me that I just don't want to touch or think about. I'm just focused on improving the channel and how YouTube views it, and just getting eyeballs on what I'm doing and getting consistently good views. So that is the plan with those. So moving on to stuff I've already changed based on your feedback. So I added tiers to my Patreon, something that you all have asked for years, and I could never quite like come up with something that made sense, that didn't add like a bunch of work to me, but still felt good. And I finally did. I don't know. I just had a revelation. I haven't been working on my videos for the last week, so I've just had time to sit and think and consider everything that people have said. So I did end up adding some Patreon tiers, and let me just tell you, the response on my Patreon, both after I made my last video and then after I added the tiers, has been incredible. Like, way beyond anything I would have ever expected. My Patreon almost doubled this week. Like, it's bananas. I can't believe that's happened. Thank you all so much for the support. I have no words. I would have never expected this. But anyways, I did say that I was going to promote my Patreon more, and even though I hate doing it, I'm going to do it right now and tell you about these new tiers. So there's still the base tier of, it's $1 a month. If you become a patron for $1 a month, you'll get access to the game votes to decide the games that I play. You'll get the fancy title in Discord, and you'll also get access to the special Patreon chat on Discord. There's a new tier for $5, which will give you access to some new exclusive streams I'm going to do. So prior to setting up these game votes, I usually take, I don't even know, I've never timed it, but like at least a few hours, like looking at every single game that's coming up, watching trailers and any other information I can get on them to see if it's something I might want to play. I've always done that in private. We're going to do that on stream now as a group. So if you're a $5 Patreon, if you're a $5 patron on Patreon, then you'll have access to those streams and can come hang out with us. And if you happen to be on a different time zone, that'll be recorded so you can check it out later if it doesn't work out for you to do it live. And then there's a new $15 tier. anyone who signs up for that tier will get recognized at the start of a new stream series. So we'll start the series. I'll have a special little page made, and you all will get recognition for your support of the channel. Now, in addition to the Patreon changes, a lot of you asked for me to set up YouTube memberships as well, which I have done. They are now approved. They're not live yet because I still need to set up the emotes, but they are approved. I can hit the button whenever, and then they'll be active for you all to sign up on YouTube if you so desire. It'll give you access to some exclusive emotes, loyalty badges, and yeah, that's going to be $2.99 a month. So I've set that up as well per request. So yeah, I'm totally uncomfortable now having promoted myself, and yeah, that's all I really have to tell you all about. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you all in the streams. If you were wanting walkthrough content, I apologize. I would love to keep making walkthroughs, but for a variety of reasons, it just doesn't work anymore. So hopefully you'll join us on the streams. If not, my walkthroughs aren't going anywhere, the ones that are finished at least. So they'll be there for you to watch if you haven't seen them all and you want to go see some older games that you might want to walk through on. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you all on the streams. Thank you all for the continued support, and I will see you all later.